Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
Prepare for the SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Chris is here. Hi, Chris.
It's me. I'm Chris.
Where the hell is everyone?
I don't know. Usually I'm allowed to just kind of fade into the background and such, but I feel...
You're the star this week.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel dangerously pushed into the center stage here.
I'll give him the spotlight. Yeah, I don't know where Aki is. Aki is supposed to be here. Hopefully she will be here later on. Horror Acolyte will be here later on during reviews as well. Pernell and Andy are off this week, presumably in the mountains, sightseeing and camping. I'm just guessing they're together. They don't live anywhere near each other, but that's my guess. We've got a guest.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's very convincing.
Hey. Could happen. I don't know. One's in Delaware, one's in Washington, I think. So it's only an entire country states away.
Yeah.
So we've got a guest joining us this week. DJ Jones, the creator of the Quartercade, is here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, actually. I'm doing okay.
How is your early week treating you so far?
Ooh, it's been busy.
That a loaded question today.
yeah. It's been chaotic, to say the least.
For the people who don't know what the Quartercade is, give us the sales pitch. What is going on here?
All right, so the Quartercade, it's a small console that bridges the gap between console gameplay, console feel, and PC freedom. So, you're able to get onto instead of having a PC or whatever, setup, desktop, whatever that is, you plug in your controller, you turn it on, and it goes right into a menu just like a console, and you're able to just download your games, play them as if you are playing on a console. But you have the freedom of going outside of the ecosystems of PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox by accessing the Epic Games Store, the Steam Store, as well as other avenues, like being able to download things through a program called Lutris that allows you to access old games, older titles that have been preserved, for gamers, such as Phantasy Star Online, which is my favorite of all time, and I'm going to plug that into every single mention that I can. So,
hell yeah, Phantasy Star Online. We were chatting over the weekend and last night, and one of the topics that came up was Phantasy Star Online, and yeah, we could bond over that. I loved that game. So that is the first real online game that I ever played. I was with my girlfriend living in Allentown at the time, and we were visiting some mall, and they had a black Sega Dreamcast, the Sega Sports one. I was like, I never saw a black Dreamcast before. I'm going to pick that up. Why not? Let's give it a try. We picked that up. We picked up Sonic. I'm like, Phantasy Star Online. Like, online, like against other people. And picked it up and started playing. I'm like, oh my God, there's a 3-month fee to this? I got to pay 3 months at once? What? And, yeah, it's just been... Phantasy Star Online was just so good, from Dreamcast to GameCube. And then I've dabbled in Blueburst. I'm guessing Blueburst is the version that you're running with?
Yeah, Blueburst, because they're running on those private servers now. Actually, Affinia is the one that runs through that, and yeah, man, it runs great. They even patched in recently. I want to say the last couple years or so, they patched in right stick support. So now you can move the camera like a modern game with the right stick. So it's beautiful.
Oh, wow. About quality of life improvements.
I know.
What is this Lutris thing you were talking about? I've never heard of Lutris before.
So the Quartercade is being built on a custom version of Linux. You can think of it like this. You strip the desktop and you access your apps through your controller. You just have a menu right there, and you're accessing whatever is available there on the screen. Lutris is an app that allows you to access different games, just whatever games that are available through it. And if you have the right files, or if the files are easily downloadable from their website, it connects to their website, right away, and then it pulls those files directly from them. Sometimes it requires extra files. So, for example, I mentioned Phantasy Star Online. I also have Phantasy Star Universe running on the Quartercade, but I needed to get certain files from, say, like the Clementine private server site, where they have their own download for the files and everything. So I had to get some files from them, and then I was able to load those files up into the Quartercade through Lutris, and then it set it all up all nice and fancy for me. So I'm able to play that also. So it's Lutris. It's a platform that's built on preservation.
Very cool. Chris, have you heard of Lutris? I know you're big into retro gaming.
I am, but I don't really know Lutris that well. Yeah.
I'm looking it up. It looks really, really cool. I've never heard of this before. I gotta check this out. This is my homework for the night, I guess. So the Quartercade, the big thing with this is you were aiming to keep it an affordable platform, yes?
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, and that's been a challenge, $349. Actually, we wanted to go for $249, $25, $250 quarter. But to get hardware to be able to play, the latest modern games, there's a certain cutoff as far as pricing goes, which is fine. That's okay. But when it comes to the prices that we now see, when it comes to the big three, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, a lot of people have been complaining about prices and things like that, and I understand, because I grew up a broke gamer. I was trading in games at Bookman's and GameStop and Hastings, so we didn't have a lot growing up. So I understand, and it's like we shouldn't be priced out. We shouldn't be told that, hey, gaming is just a hobby for rich folks. It should be for anyone who wants to play, and not on a phone. Because phone gaming doesn't count.
No, I am not a fan of mobile gaming.
Yeah, it's just not up to, I don't know, snuff.
I need tactile buttons. Like, I know they put buttons on the screen and they give you the haptic feedback of touching. Like, I need an actual physical button to click.
I tried mobile gaming for about a good 2 years. I gave it a good try. And I even got you can get controllers that'll connect to your phone and you can play, with the controllers. And a lot of those games didn't support them at the time, I should say. Maybe they support them now. But I'm telling you right now, I didn't really like it too much. The games were very simple, very unpolished. I'll put it that way. It's they kind of remind me of my first experience with VR. They're not quite. You'll get games that'll say, "Oh yeah, this is an open world RPG or something," and it's kind of broken, kind of a mess. Things. It never feels quite like this experience you get with consoles or even with PC.
What is the jankiest game you've played? Doesn't even have to be mobile. Just like the jankiest, shittiest controlling game. Aki, do you want to chime in? You're late. We're going to call you out. What's the jankiest game you've played?
Oh, Jesus. I've played so many janky sacks of shit.
She has also played hundreds of porn games.
And none of them are jank. So, that should be telling all of you something. Go play more porn games. They're not jank. Problem solved. I have no idea what the most jank one is. Because I've played plenty of janky games, and I can't think of any other names because they were so bad, I wanted to forget them. The worst one that I can think of off the top of my head, which is definitely not the worst one I've ever played, was probably Remothered 2. Sins of the Father, I think, is the subtitle for that one. It was really jank. I have played significantly worse games that were significantly jankier, but that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that I can remember the name of. Because I really liked the first one. Yeah, I really liked the first one, that's why. And the second one was so broke that I didn't get one of the achievements that I was going for, and it pissed me off.
An achievement? Yeah. No!
Yeah. No, there's some hard ones in that bitch. Like, there's one for not getting caught ever in the entire game, and I kept making saves specifically to get that achievement. And that ain't a short fucking game. There was also an achievement for stunning everybody, which I also tried to get, and I didn't get that achievement either. Yeah, it just it was some jank ass shit. I even contacted the dev and pointed out where there was some problems where you couldn't pick up items that you were supposed to be able to pick up, and they were like, "Yeah, that happens sometimes."
Good times.
I was like, "But are you gonna fix it?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Oh." Okay,
are you
then.
Gonna fix it? No.
Yeah, they never did fix it. Nope.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about you, DJ? What's the jankiest piece of shit you've played?
Oh man,
name names. Let's hear. What do you?
Yeah. Okay. So it has to be in between. These are throwbacks. It has to be in between toys for the Sega Genesis.
Ooh.
Or Bubsy, because I did suffer through Bubsy's first stage, so that was
Bubsy is a legendarily shitty game.
Yeah.
Chris, what are your thoughts on Bubsy? Are you getting the?
I actually really kind of avoided. Maybe, I don't know.
Making a Bubsy compilation.
It's one of those things where they're like, "Wow, can you believe how crazy we are?" Well, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a bog standard in terms of like bad games. It's kind of like, well, this is what you can point out instead of, really venturing out and trying to discover.
I won a Bubsy game from I wouldn't call it a raffle necessarily, but yeah, emailed somebody and they determined which email they liked the most, and that person got some games, and Bubsy was in that list of games, and I won it. Joe, does that sound familiar to you at all?
Nice.
I'm guessing you got it from us?
Yeah.
I don't remember
I
getting
did.
a Bubsy game. That's crazy.
It was a Halloween package that had a fuck ton of games in it. Had like at least 8 games, maybe more. Pretty sure more. And Bubsy was one of them. And fuck, that game is terrible.
Like how you say 8 games, like that's a huge number that we've given away at once.
That is it was one of the bigger ones that we had given away, at least since I've had been watching.
We had some big stuff. Chris, what did you named us on episode 20, right? What did you win?
Oh man, it was a big box of stuff.
I don't even remember. Was that the one with the GameCom?
I can't.
That Tim gave away?
No, I got a GameCom from elsewhere. I have a GameCom, but I didn't get it from SML,
games
which is
on
funny.
the Quartercade?
GameCom games. You know what? GameCom games.
You remember the Game.com handheld?
Oh man, I don't remember that.
The Tiger Toys, Tiger Electronics thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about those, man.
That was a janky console.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So tell us more about the Quartercade. You were planning on launching an Indiegogo today. We scheduled this interview, like 2 weeks ago, and it's like, oh, we could launch it right with the Indiegogo. And apparently things kind of fell apart. What happened there?
Yeah, so originally we were going to launch on the 3rd of October, and we wanted to actually meet with the holiday rush and everything. And Indiegogo reached out to us. They're like, hey, we really like, what's going on with your project. We want to, check it out. And we want to talk with you guys. So they sit with me and my friend TN. He designs the tops of the console because there's different resin designs that he does. And so we're sitting down with them on a Zoom call, and they're telling us about this relaunch. Their website was going to be relaunched, and they're like, we want you to be one of the first to be included with that relaunch and to be able to take advantage of all the new features and blah, blah, blah. And they sold it to us, and we're like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. So we told them, sure, let us know when the relaunch is going to happen, and then we will update you on a new date for our launch. And they said, okay. So they get back to us. They're like, okay, the relaunch is happening on the 15th or 16th, somewhere in the middle of the month. And we're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and launch on the 21st. And they said, yeah, that's a great day to launch, which is ironic because, the 16th rolls by. By this time, I'm skipping a lot because I had already, filled out everything, got everything ready for the Indiegogo. All I had to do was hit launch. Everything would have been great. We would have just launched. We would have been fine. However, I hear at some point that week, which was last week, that our page wasn't working. The link was broken. So I'm going back and trying to log in, and I needed to change some things anyway. So I'm trying to log in. They're like, oh, you can't log in right now. They're having issues because of the traffic, So I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm going back and forth all day with support. Finally, the next day, I get just flooded with spam of just a bunch of emails saying, with security codes because they came late, I guess. And finally, I get the last one, and then I log in, and you wouldn't even believe what I saw. I get in, and it's telling me that I only have 2 out of 9 steps finished or completed for the launch of the page. And I'm like, that can't be right. And I'm looking at just pages of things that I have to get through and fill out and do all over again. So I'm contacting them. I said, hey, something is not right. We're looking at a page that's just not complete. So then they get back to me. They're like, oh, yeah, when we have more information, we'll let you know. I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then I notice also that we don't have access to those who had previously subscribed, to get news for the Quartercade. And so I asked them about that, and they're like, oh, we'll get those to you later. We'll send you the email addresses. I'm like, okay, that's weird. And finally, the next day, I'm like, okay, let me plug everything in. Let me get everything up and ready to go for Tuesday. And then it locks me out and tells me I cannot schedule for Tuesday because now with their new relaunch, the system requires you to launch 7 days ahead of time. So I'm looking at it. It's Sunday. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I contact them. They're like, oh, we can't do anything about it. And I'm like, oh, really? So we lose all of our subscribers. Well, you can't, you can't let us launch. And yeah, and that's all they had to say for us, and you say to us. And so we're like, okay. So I think you and I were talking, what was it, last night? We were talking a little bit about that. At that point, we had sent them basically an email saying, hey, our launch was pretty much wrecked, because there was no communication that these changes were going to, affect our campaign. And then they get back to us and they're like, well, pretty much they said, too bad, contact support. And we're like, okay. So in the meantime, yesterday I went and made a Kickstarter page.
Nice.
So I got a Kickstarter page up, and now I'm like, hey, I've done Kickstarter before, so I'm like, and you wouldn't believe how much more easy it was to make that Kickstarter page. So I make the Kickstarter page, and then after that, I'm like, hey, I'm just waiting for them to say, yay or nay, and we'll go from there. Worst case scenario, these things are going to be made to order. So worst case scenario, we're just going to launch our own pre-order system, and then we'll just do that, and go from there. We just wanted to, create a buzz and try to get more people behind it, but I don't know. The industry won't let us, man. The suits up top.
How does the create to order work? Like, what's the process when? Well, I guess we can't really talk about Indiegogo anymore, but how would it work on Kickstarter if someone quote places an order? What is the process? So,
actually, the create to order process would be normally when we're just selling the units, right? But since we'll be launching on Kickstarter, we get the money from Kickstarter or whatever, and then we go ahead and put that towards a bulk pre-order, and that goes to the manufacturer. They send us the parts. We go ahead and put things together. We put the tops, design the tops according to the specs that or designs that are requested, and then we go ahead and flash the units with the custom operating system. So that's generally how it would work, and it's a pretty simple concept, but it seems like there's a lot of red tape that gets in the way. It seems like a lot of folks are pretty skeptical of any kind of game hardware that comes from any other source besides Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, and which I guess that makes sense. But we're trying to offer something. Like I said, we're trying to offer freedom for gamers. They don't have to be stuck in those different corners, and it's going to be cheaper. So, hey, that's what we're doing.
Is it customizable or is it locked to one set of specs?
So it's technically customizable like a PC. A person could say hook up well, let me back up. One thing we thought about doing, we thought about seeing if we could private label like a peripheral, like an accessory that would be an add-on on top, and it would attach to it and basically just have an external graphics card in it and just make it, obviously run better. And better with graphics processing. So
the 32X of the PC world.
It could be, yeah. I guess it could be. We were talking. I was telling my friends, because I'm a Sega guy, I was telling my friend about it when we were talking about what we wanted to do with it. I was like, hey, we could create attachments for the top. It could be like the new Tower of Power, like Sega with the the Sega CD and all that. So that's.
Oh man.
Yeah,
love that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for $350, what does that get you?
All right. So I don't know if you probably looked at the website.
Yeah.
But you're playing last gen games, medium to high settings. You're playing current gen games, low to medium settings, about 1080p, but upscale to 4K. The demonstration I did today was on a 4K monitor, and it'll run between 30 and 60 FPS. And anything below that, anything, let's say like PS3 generation, is going to run on pretty much ultra.
Gotcha.
So it packs a punch. It's a little guy, a little small, little 5-inch by 5-inch, but it packs a little punch.
It's definitely not for the people who are expecting like a $3,000 PC performance out of a $300 50 mission. Like, I see people who bitch constantly that the Series S doesn't look as good as the Series X or the PS5. Like, you bought the budget console, man. Like, you have to have realistic expectations.
Yep. Yeah. It is not for those guys. If they're, it's funny you mentioned that. Stories, right?
It's lower than 60 frames. I can't play it. It's literally unplayable.
We had some I'll call them buckethead responses in emails about the Quartercade. Like, literally, one guy, he comes back and he's like, "Oh yeah, where are the specs?" I'm like, I'm telling my marketer guy, it's not for that guy. It's not for that guy. People who want the budget console, they're not going to be worried about the specs. They're going to be worried about what can play on it and what they have available to them at that small or that lower price point. But we're like, let's humor them. Then the next guy that comes with another bucket-headed response, he's like, so is the cooling on it passive or is it active? And I'm like, how do you play games with passive cooling? Like, you can't, which, for those who
there's a water
know.
Tank attachment you got. Right. Sega Tower of Power.
right. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, and I'm just looking at it and I'm just thinking, and then the next thing he asks is, and if it's active, what are the noise levels? I'm like, my guy, if you are in the hood and you were trying to play the Quartercade, you don't care how loud the fans are, and they're not that loud. They really aren't. I forgot what we got from the manufacturer as far as the actual sound levels, but it's really not. You don't hear it while you're playing unless it's playing something like Monster Hunter Wilds, which, yes, that runs on there. But it's just, if you're getting the budget console, you're not going to expect it to be running. I don't know, what's that Star Citizen on Ultra.
Oh, jeez. Can it run Crisis? No.
Oh man.
So I'm looking at the website. I am looking at the specifications. This thing measures 5 inches by 5 inches. How do you get such performance in such a tiny package? And I guess this is where the size matters jokes come in.
Yeah, you know what? I I just
I'm
did
trying
some
so
research.
hard not to make those jokes. I'm
Go
trying
for it,
so
Aki.
hard,
Go
Joe.
for it. Make a Jacob joke.
It's not about the size, it's about the motion of the ocean, man. It just takes a long time to get there in a tugboat. It's all good.
Oh man. Yeah, I'll put it this way. I did a lot of research before I got into this thing. It was kind of one of those ideas that I was just trying to think of some kind of thing to put, food on the table. And but at the same time I was looking at some ideas with building PC rigs, and then, it was this weird perfect storm where, everyone was complaining about the Nintendo Switch 2 at the time. And I was like, is anyone going to come out with a cheaper console? Because obviously prices are going up, right?
Yeah.
And then so I did some research, and I said, what's the possibility of this thing being a thing? So I found these APUs from AMD. So AMD has these chips. They've been trying to push for like gaming ready chips that are integrated graphics. So they run, pretty well, actually very well, if you ask me, but they're not like separate from the processor. They're integrated, and they've gotten pretty far with it. And I think a lot of the AI upscaling has done a lot to help that, frame gen, and which not everyone likes frame gen, that's fine, but also, what's the other one, FSR, all that stuff.
So I am looking at pictures of this thing, and you were doing what console makers and phone makers have forgotten what to do, and that is having plenty of ports on this thing. 6 USB, a USB-C. There's a fucking headphone jack on this thing. Like, you can plug shit into this. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I'd buy a $700 Xbox and I could plug 3 things in.
Yeah. I come from a time where we used to plug in 4 controllers and play 4-player Phantasy Star. There it is. Yeah. Phantasy Star Online, episode 1 and 2. Yeah, I'm just imagining a crowd in the back just saying, yeah, So yeah, we used to do that, So you need to have your ports. Especially if you're not running just Bluetooth controllers, which it does work with Bluetooth controllers. But yeah, you are gonna want to have maybe some wired, or maybe some that are wireless. I forgot what they call it, but the wireless ones that you plug into the USB. So
like the 2.4 gigahertz ones.
Yeah, there you go. 2.4 gigahertz. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, I love those. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm a heathen. I use wired controllers only.
Yeah, wired are great.
Wired's good.
M317
less
in
input lag, the
chat
better.
wants to know if this could run Borderlands 4.
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I didn't get a copy of Borderlands 4 yet, so I guess that's a good that's a challenge, right? Well,
Next test.
Yeah, that's the next test, and that's the thing with testing it is I had to get every game that I tested, I had to just buy or play demos of. So it's been kind of a funny thing where I'm like looking at my 300 games in Steam and I'm like, this isn't enough.
Honey, it's for product research.
Yeah.
I need them.
I'm writing them all off. Mark my words. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one thing I'm seeing that legitimately concerns me on this thing, and this is a problem with every console, I think, storage. It has 512 gig. Is it upgradable? Can you order one with higher storage, or do you have to upgrade it on your own? What is the storage situation on this? What are the solutions on this? How can I load all of my games on this thing?
Yeah, we're all kind of storage whores here.
We are.
Yeah. And I have 300 games on Steam, so I can relate. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's upgradable. You can order it with more storage if you'd like. I didn't mention it on the website, but it was supposed to be mentioned on the Indiegogo page, which is not available today. So, but yeah, it's upgradable. It actually has the capacity for two NVMEs. So, you could have, I don't know, as high as you want, really. 2 terabytes if you want. I have a 1 terabyte. I had upgraded mine with a 1 terabyte. And I actually, I've been thinking about just only included the 1 terabytes, but for those who want more storage, I guess we can also do 2 terabytes or more if they're available. But yeah, anyway, that's just me spitballing thinking about it.
I'm a psycho with storage. I have the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X with the 4 terabyte expansion card. So I have 6 terabyte of playable storage on that thing. And I want more.
I feel that.
Games installed.
I put a 2 terabyte into my, because I have a gaming PC as well. I put a 2 terabyte in there and I thought I was fresh. I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, I got a 2 terabyte just dedicated to gaming, strictly gaming. And I burnt that thing up in, I don't know, a few hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. My computer upgraded. I previously had like a 1 terabyte hard drive and then a 512 solid state. I got it upgraded. We kept the 512 solid state because I couldn't really afford that. And the guy who was cleaning my PC didn't have anything really affordable, but he did have a nice sized hard drive. So I went from 1 terabyte to 8 terabyte. And I have been downloading all of the wrestling videos that I can.
Oh man, that's cool though.
Yeah, I need storage. I want to fill everything. I want everything available to me. Chris, how many Switch games do you have installed right now?
Oh, not many. Because I have the Switch 2 now, and so I've transferred all of them over to it, and it has the 256 gigabytes internal.
Yeah.
And I just got a 256 card, so I'm now up to 500. Or whatever, 512 before formatting. And I'd say it's not very many. Like, it's just I basically am at the point now where I just kind of install them when I want to play them, and then I just leave them on there. And then when it's like you're out of storage, I'm like, okay, I'll go through the list of stuff I'm not playing currently and just delete it. Unless it's like a big one I've recently bought and I'm planning on playing, and then it just kind of stays in there and just eats up everything. But no, I've never had all my games installed on my Switch at once, not even when I had the 1.5 terabytes in the old system. Yeah, it's always just choosing what I'm going to have. For context, anybody that wants to know, I own close to 1,600 Switch games.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers.
That's
wow.
When you
this show is partial.
You have almost.
Well, the show is partially to blame. The show is partially to blame. I would say maybe about 350 to 400 of those games are from the show.
Wow.
I bought a lot. Yeah. And that's also counting physicals, which aren't installed at all. So, for the most part.
True.
So like I have
Just on the Switch 1, on the
like
Switch 2.
250 games are physical. You what?
Start installing on the Switch 2 with key cards.
Yeah, once that's a thing. But I mean, I've been doing that with PS5 since I've owned it. I don't have a single game that's not at least partially installed on my PS5, and I love my PS5, so it's no problem. I just don't like. I did one of those surveys from whoever it was, Nintendo or GameStop or something, and they were like, "Do you like the games being on like a key card?" And I'm like, necessary evil. Do you like to go into GameStop and buy a download code on a card? And I was like, no, I will never do that. I wouldn't even do it as a gift. Like, that's ridiculous. But the key card at least is a thing of like, well, it can transfer ownership, and yeah, it does require the servers being on and blah blah blah. But you know, that's what we got for now because games are too big.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to the day when the Final Fantasy VII trilogy is on Switch 2. You got to figure out how to fit like a game and a half on the system. Can't have the whole trilogy on there.
Nah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
It is exciting.
I'll find a way. Yeah, life will find a way.
A game series that DJ, you and I talked about last night that I knew you and Chris would bond over. Etrian Odyssey. Converse.
Oh yeah, I love Etrian Odyssey.
Oh man, you first.
I've got all of them.
Oh really?
I've got all of them. I was right on top of that. After 3 came out, I bought 3 new on the DS, and then I went back and picked up 1 and 2 later. And then since then I've just been getting them as soon as they come out. I've only played like half of them though, so it's they're long games, and I don't play them all the time, but I do love them. It's my favorite dungeon crawler.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat with that. They're very expansive. They have a lot of depth, and I don't know. I like the map system a lot.
Yeah,
it's very immersive. The music is very good, and I like the freedom to be able to pick out your party members, the classes, name them, and all that stuff. I really like that series. Love it to death, even.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite soundtrack out of them?
Oh, you know what? I think it might be it might be the remake of the second one.
Oh, that's one of the ones I haven't played yet.
Oh my goodness, that soundtrack! I actually, I have that soundtrack. Sometimes I'll play it just over and over again. Some of the tracks on there are just wow.
Nice. My favorite's 4, and the same. I just listen to the soundtrack sometimes just for a long time. Three's close.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say 3 is a close second. And 3 has my favorite single song of the series, but the overall soundtrack is, I think, 4 is better.
Yeah. Actually, 4 is the I want to say, no, is it the only one? Yeah, it's the only one I beat. Actually, nice. I actually played through the entirety of 4, and I was actually playing on the 3DS. I was in the Philippines at the time. And I was staying out there for a few years, and I beat it, and I then went on to what wasn't Nexus? It was, I think, 5.
Well, there was 5, and then there was Nexus, and there was Mystery Dungeon in there too.
Yeah,
and that's also around the time they started remaking the first 2 games in the 3DS style, and then they stopped before 3. So 3's kind of got this Final Fantasy 3-esque existence where they never get around to it when they're like trying to remake or port other games. So it like 3's only been redone once, and that's on the HD version on the Switch and Steam and whatnot.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and 3 had some interesting mechanics that the others didn't have, right? Like, wasn't there some kind of multiplayer mechanic or something? Oh,
I don't know about multiplayer. That's interesting. I should look into that. 3 is mostly where it was the first one, I think, that had like going around a different kind of map on a boat and fighting like, specific bosses out there. And it also had the multiple branching endings. So that's different from what I know.
Yeah, that was.
But I haven't beaten 2, so I don't know if 2 has any of those. I have beaten 1, I've beaten 3 and 4. And 3 was the first one I beat.
Yeah. I had a good time with 4 and playing the second one as well. The remake of the second one, which those remakes were interesting because they added a lot of story content, right? Like they had characters that were pre-written, and they had little cutscenes and things like that. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I gotta pull it out. It's been some years. But I believe there was some voice acting even on number 2. I can't remember if they added voice acting back into the first one, the remake of the first one. But yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, those games were.
The 3DS is so ambitious for what it was that it had a lot of games with voice acting in it, just like straight up.
Yeah,
like the remake of Dragon Quest VIII, for instance, retained all of the voice acting, and 8's got a lot of voice acting in it.
Yep. 3 was the 3DS was amazing. I remember the first day I had opened up my 3DS and I was like, "This is different." It was definitely an experience. I love that system, but yeah,
for sure. Me too. I missed it when it launched because I was poor at the time, but I eventually got one a few years later. But by that time, they had the XL versions, and I was like, yes, it's big enough for my giant hands.
Oh, man. Yeah. I think I can relate to a certain extent because I had waited until they did the Fire Emblem ones, the Fire Emblem Awakening edition or whatever, and I got one of those, and it was blue with the nice logo on the front of it, and it was great. But yeah, that was
awesome.
That was an awesome system. Yeah.
Are you a Fire Emblem fan, or just that was a cool system and that you wanted to buy?
I am a Fire Emblem fan. I wouldn't say that I'm a diehard Fire Emblem fan, but it's one of those series
I don't think any of them are.
yeah. It's one of those.
Every Fire Emblem fan seems to have their ones they also hate.
Oh, well, I don't know if, let me see, ones that I hate. I wouldn't say I have any ones that I hate, but I will say
I'm
this.
exaggerating, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. They're the ones that are really good, and then the ones that they pretty much avoid, which is pretty much Fire Emblem. I really do like Fire Emblem games, and I feel like it's one of those series that you pay attention to when a new one comes out. It's just one of those, which there not a lot of those. I know, like it was mentioned earlier. What was it? Final Fantasy VII, the remake series. When that comes out, you're like, okay, what's this about? You're gonna watch that. But Fire Emblem for me is one of those series where I gotta see what they're doing with it. I gotta see if it's something I want to invest in. But not every series is like that coming out nowadays. So it's
for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of Final Fantasies, what's your favorite?
Final Fantasy. Oh, you know what? I was gonna say that it was 7, but I know I'm gonna get killed for this. Final Fantasy. I would say is between 7 and Crystal Chronicles. But only because I was able to have the full experience with my friends. We had the Game Boys, we had the cables, and there was nothing like that experience. I mean, to this day, the closest thing I could find to that experience was some game that they canceled halfway through, but it was called Eon Alter on Steam, where you use your phone to play the game. That's the closest thing I could find to it. I think there's another one now called Sunderfolk, but yeah, that having your own screen and being able to send letters to the families and, being able to, take part in, different events, your characters will show up in the cutscenes together. I mean, that was an experience.
If it makes you feel better, you're definitely
crazy.
not being tossed off a cliff for that, because mine is 12. So, if they were going to kill you over that, I'd have died a long fucking time ago.
I love 12.
Oh, man.
I like 12 too. I haven't beaten it yet, but
12 is like my absolute favorite one.
Somebody I know that's been kind of like newer to the Final Fantasy series, like started with 6 and then just kind of played through all of them now.
Newer?
Except for I'm saying except for 13 and 15, and she's now up to that level. Like she's played most of the series now, and 12 was like uniquely like one of her favorites, I think.
Shut up, Joe. Yeah. I will hurt you.
She did all the side quests, including that one like 30 million HP boss or whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sick
7 isn't even on my list.
Shoutouts.
So
shoutouts to 12. It's pretty. That game definitely makes its own fans. Yeah.
I have a tendency to like the ones that people seem to think are meh. Like after 12 is 15 for me, and I feel like next to no one likes 15.
Oh, not
I
2?
I don't know why. Not 2.
I like 15. 15 was great.
What about?
Yeah, no, I enjoy 15.
It's like 15, which is, as far as I know, a pretty successful one. But how about 2?
I don't. I haven't played any of them before 10.
You need to play 6.
Oh, there you go.
No, I don't.
You need to play 6.
If they ever do a remake of it, I will.
It's on Xbox.
Yeah, I said a remake of it. I want something that looks good.
Are you saying
I mean like a remake like
don't
7 has a remake, except for I'd prefer it if it actually followed the right story.
I think pixel graphics don't look good.
Not my favorite, no.
I will uppercut you in the neck.
They age very well. They age like fine wine.
They do. Pixel graphics still look good today. Early PS1 games look like dog shit. Like, play
I like
Jumping
that look too.
Flash today and tell me it looks good.
I mean, Legend of Dragoon looks
Nah,
gorgeous.
You're not going to get me on that one. I love the early PS1 and like the Saturn look. I think those are great.
Okay, we gotta hold up here. Someone said Legend of Dragoon.
Yes, thank God someone else knows it. Okay.
Oh my goodness, I love Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon is, I mean, that's peak. That's funny. I've been comparing JRPGs for years to Legend of Dragoon. I think that's the standard.
It should be.
Yeah,
it should be.
It's the golden standard.
100% should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like everyone else here is like, probably like Final Fantasy is better. Well, at least one of them is better than Legend of Dragoon. No, Legend of Dragoon is best. I don't care.
Oof.
Go away, Joe.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger is better.
I mean, I don't get real serious about the comparing stuff, especially different series. It's like whatever you like. Joe never asked me what my the buggiest game I've ever played is, but it's Skyrim, which is also one of my favorite games.
Yeah,
I think Oblivion was probably buggier than Skyrim, but that's because
the Skyrim
it
master.
Broke.
Yeah.
How many times?
I mean,
Skyrim,
I don't know about
Chris?
It's a. No, that's not even. I can't count.
Entirely.
I'd say probably like with various builds and playthroughs and stuff. Like I've created hundreds of characters, but I think I've actually like fully beaten the game maybe like 25 times.
How many thousands of hours have you put into it? Because I have to assume it's hit the thousands. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was at 2,500-ish, and then this year I started a game on the PS5 because I wanted to check it out, and that game is at 275 hours now, so we're getting like into the late 2800s, but again, this is all.
Oh man!
And then I also started playing a game on Switch too, but that one isn't. I'm not playing as much because I had to uninstall it.
You may have played more of that one game than I have played the entire series of Assassin's Creed, to which I've 100%ed all but one of them.
I guess maybe that's probably true.
Chris has played more Skyrim than I have played games ever in my life.
I don't believe that at all, but okay.
No, that can't be it. You wouldn't believe how fast those hours go.
Yeah, every year I play about that many
an
hours
average amount of games
total. So
yeah, like if you play an average amount of video game.
Is Chris breaking up
for anyone else? Okay, yeah.
Chris, your internet's getting
probably.
crappy.
Yeah.
I like how we caught the first.
Oh man! All right, so you love Etrian with Chris. You love Legend of Dragoon with Aki. What are your thoughts on Earthbound?
Oh no! Okay, now this I'll get hanged for. I never played it.
Oh,
you're in good company. I've never played it either.
Okay, all right.
Joe keeps telling me I need to play it.
This is surprisingly a safe place.
I mean, not really, because that's like Joe's favorite game, and he is the host. So
Earthbound is my number one game. The music is a big part of Earthbound for me, though.
The music should be a big part of games. I think sometimes we forget about that. I think reviewers forget about that a lot. You know,
I do all the time because I mute the music usually. For all my games.
My wife does that. Yeah. Divinity Original Sin 2. Any fans of that?
I haven't played that one.
Oh yeah, that's.
I bet Chris has. It's a shame his shit's messed up right now. Because I'm sure he's probably played the hell out of that.
On 360, yeah.
Oh.
Divinity Original Sin 2, Xbox One, I think. PS4 for sure. Definitely PC. Steam, yeah. Switch. Original Switch.
Divinity 2 Ego Draconis sitting on my shelf. I think just in the re-release of I don't know. Remember. Too old.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Probably fine now.
Welcome back, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I know we have been chatting for a while. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't bring up?
No, I'd say we covered pretty much everything. I didn't really talk too much about the design of the tops, but yeah, that's
how are they made?
That's the whole thing. Yeah, we it's funny because the manufacturer who sends us parts and everything, they were like, "What? Like, is that glass or like what is that?" Well, originally we came up with the concept of having a home console that had a partial design like a Game Boy, like a Game Boy Color, like back in the 2000s. So we were trying to come up with like the material, and we found out like resin was the material. So we're like resin with some dyes, and if you saw the setup we have that my friend has, TN, who does these tops, you definitely feel sorry for us. He's like on a like rickety, like he's like, oh yeah, I'm talking to him, and he's making all these works of art. He goes and brings them to my place, and I'm like, oh wow, look at this. And then I would say it was like 2 or 3 months into this, and then he's like, yeah, we need to upgrade my setup. And I'm like, cool. And then he shows me his setup, and it's like this rickety like table, like small little table, and like a shelf, and it's all outside in his backyard. And I'm like, I was like, my guy, I was like, I thought you were like making this in your garage. And he's like, I don't have a garage. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no.
So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to upscale once we have some funding. So we but yeah, it's not something we know how. I mean, he makes them by like hand makes them. So he he designs, the top, puts in pigment, different colors, depending on, I don't know, there's like some kind of special paint he uses, and then he lets them cure for, a certain amount of time. They stay inside of a mold, and then he, lets them cure inside of the mold, and then he pulls them out, and then there you go, more tops are made. And then we slap the logo on it, and that's it. But it's like a
one
plastic.
is basically handmade individually, pretty much.
Yep, handmade in the U.S.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, if this thing ends up getting, big, we'll end up having to, hire help and everything, and get it all manufactured or whatnot. But for now, it's all handmade.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Aki, any final questions on your end?
No, I'm an idiot, so no, I'm good.
Very good. Chris, any final questions on your end? Oh, Chris is muted.
No, I'm fine. I'm just watching my internet because it's going out.
Oh, no. Good times. Oh, man. DJ, where can people keep up to date with you, what you're doing with the Quartercade? Is there a place we could sign up for updates so we know when the Indiegogo and or Kickstarter goes live?
Yeah. Right now we are taking subscriptions, emails, right at thequartercade.com. So we're just taking them and making sure, we have a list, so we can shoot out a newsletter, because, Indiegogo couldn't do it. so we're like, hey, we're gonna host it ourselves. So if you go to thequartercade.com, just scroll down to the bottom or click coming soon, and it'll take you to a page where you just input your email address, and we'll keep you up to date when we have, real actual news on, things, progressing. Today we were supposed to shoot out a newsletter and say, hey, everyone, it's up. But now we're trying to figure out where Indiegogo put their heads and figure out.
I have a few guesses. I think you only need one, though.
Yeah. I figured. So.
How the interview was supposed to go. Visit Indiegogo to pre-order now. How the interview actually went. These motherfuckers.
Yeah, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep trying, because ultimately we're trying to do something good for gamers, players, especially those that are on a budget. So, if the industry keeps kicking us around like this, which, by the way, I did try to contact. I had an inside contact with IGN, and he didn't pick up the story. So, well, hey, we'll just see how things go. We're gonna keep trying though, and we'll see where it goes.
Right. Well, hopefully things click into place fairly quickly. Please keep us updated on things. I am very interested in getting my hands on one of these to see what it's all about and how things work, and play some Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'll keep you guys posted, and we're connected on Discord, so that'll make it real nice and easy, and I'll keep you in the loop.
Very good. DJ, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Again, everybody check out thequartercade.com. Keep up to date with what is going on. DJ, we are going to let you go so we can move on to reviews. Do you have any final words before we let you go?
Yeah, just I enjoyed this. This was great. Thank you for having me. And yeah, go to thequartercade.com. Support it if you are tired of AAA industry crap. So just this isn't just supporting one project or something small. This is supporting an idea, and the idea is freedom. We're not trying to get people locked into these into crap like the the Xbox Game Pass, or
not $30
any
a
kind
month
of
to play this.
not $30 a month to play online. Don't worry about those subscriptions, all that stuff. We're trying to make something, especially for indies, and that's the last thing I do want to mention is our indies. These indie developers, they have to pay more, and they have to do a lot more, go through more paperwork to be able to release their games onto consoles. So the more people have Quartercades, the less of a need that they would have to release their stuff elsewhere. So we could be helping indies as well by supporting something like the Quartercade or the Steam Deck. So that's another thing. So anyway,
Purnell loves his Steam Deck. Too bad he wasn't here.
Oh man.
Oh, all right. Well, we will let you get going. Again, thank you so much for joining us, hanging out with us. And keep us updated when things go live. We'll be sure to keep our listeners up to date.
Cool. Sounds good. Yep. We'll see you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. See you later. Great to meet you.
Yep. You too. Mm-hmm.
That was good stuff. I am very, very interested in a Quartercade. I am really bummed that the Indiegogo kind of blew up on them.
Yeah, that sounded like...
I like the design of the tops.
Yeah, they look really cool. And they're tiny, too. So, 5 by 5. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, tiny's kind of the way it's going with no physical media drives,
Very true. But lots of USB ports.
Which is always appreciated.
Yeah. Goddamn right it is. Should we move into reviews?
If we must.
Sure.
We must, because we got shit to talk about. First game to talk about tonight is KAKU Ancient Seal, developed by SneakyBox and BingoBell, published by Microids. Released October 17th on Series X and S and PS5 for $29.99. An open-world action-adventure combining exploration with puzzles and dynamic combat. Go on a journey across a sprawling continent as KAKU, a boy tasked to restore balance to the land. Brave the 4 elemental regions with the help of Piggy, his wonderful companion, and conquer their lords. Aki, are you defeating God in this game? What's going on?
Kinda. So in this, you play as KAKU. He's a young boy, and he's kind of a jackass. He's hunting after this pig, the same one that somehow becomes your partner, and talk shit to the elders, which is great, because he's a little shit. Yeah. And at first, this is all a start for him. He just wants to go eat this pig because he's hungry. And in order to chase after this pig that is somehow able to fly with its Dumbo ears, which I also appreciate because it's adorable, he learns some new stuff. Like, he learns what a slingshot is, and then he learns how to create specialized slingshot bullets that have elemental powers, which he uses to destroy this corruption that has touched the land. And then he quickly gets pulled into a much larger adventure where he has to go and basically find these 4 elemental gods and bring them back to a temple so that they can smite all of the corruption. But wouldn't you know it, the corruption it really just ain't for that shit. So it chases after you to take you down, and creatures get infected by it and attack you, and then there's also lots of different critters in each land base, because after you get out of the standard area, you go to the 4 elemental areas, which you can pick at random. You can choose whichever one you want, which is nice. Most of the enemies seem to be the exact same enemies throughout the different lands, just recolored. And, if they shoot something out, it becomes an elemental shot of wherever they're at. So the enemies are gonna end up being very much the same throughout it. As you beat up enemies, you gain little bits of experience and the like, and some money, and you use that to give yourself new powers at a shrine that's in the void, or the ruin. It's called the ruins. Never mind. Sorry, it's in the ruins, which seems to be somehow connected to the 4 different elemental areas as well. So yeah, it's just a nice little adventure game. Combat's pretty easy. It has a mixture of attacking with the slingshot, because why wouldn't you attack with the slingshot? I mean, realistically speaking, and some melee combat. The melee combat is very subpar, in my opinion. Slingshot is really good, and that seems to be where they really focused their expertise on, and it works really well. And yeah, you get a bunch of bosses that you get to fight. One of the primary ones is there's this giant boar that was with the little piggy that you were hunting that has become corrupted, and the little pig wants you to save the big boar that could feed you for like a month, and you agree to save it instead of eating it for some reason. And yeah, it comes back as a boss multiple times. So yeah, any questions, really?
Like I was looking forward to this one, and you're kind of letting me down. It sounds like it's kind of like not living up to what I was hoping.
I'm not going to say it's a bad game per se, but it's kind of mediocre. There are some things it does well, like its platforming is pretty surprisingly decent. You get the ability to, dash while in the air and stuff pretty early on, so you get to really explore places. You don't always have anything to do in those places because it is a very linear game. It wants you to go to different places when it tells you to, more than just whenever you choose to. But it's pretty well done there. But the melee combat is not great.
Yeah,
that's not really seems to be the focus, so that's fine.
What about does the rest of it hold up well? Visually, does it all come together and look pretty good?
It is very cartoony, and I like that visual style personally. It is fairly well detailed, so I think I like it graphically. It is one of the styles I do like. But it's not so detailed that I would call it like a cartoony realistic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like this looks better than most children's games that we play by a pretty significant margin. So I like it graphically. I think it looks pretty good. It does have voice acting, for a lack of a better term. They make noises when they speak, which are very amusing noises to me. Every time they start talking, I start giggling because they sound silly as hell, because they're not speaking like a real language. They're basically ooga boogieing things. Everything they're saying is gibberish, and it's fantastic. I absolutely adore it. And yeah, that's like one of my favorite things. I fucking love when they talk. So yeah, it's good. I generally like it. It has its issues, namely with the melee combat, but otherwise it's pretty good. You unlock lots of different abilities. Piggy's adorable. It is so fucking cute, and it has abilities that you get to use once it becomes a member of your team. It's not like any attack type stuff, but like it can allow you to use some of your magic energy, and it can imbibe you with the ability to jump further and higher than usual, or you can use some of your energy and it can give you the ability to run on water, things like that, which are really cool and useful for some of the traversal stuff. So yeah, I really like that. Otherwise, Piggy isn't super used in like combat though, because it's clear it's a little pig. And when I say it's a little pig, it's a very little pig. Exactly. I kind of want a plushie of it, to be honest. It's so cute.
All right, well, let's talk about price on this one. It is $30 on Series X and PS5. What are your thoughts on KAKU Ancient Seal?
I think it's worth it. I would like to have seen it closer to like $20, but that's because I'm a cheap bitch, to be fair.
Tough shit.
Yeah,
it's
but
30,
I think
you're going to deal with it.
Yeah, basically. I think most people, would end up enjoying this game, from children all the way up to adults, because it is just a fun, cute little game. And I think it's pretty good just for everybody.
Hit me with the honesty. Should I buy this one?
Should you?
Yes.
Probably not right now, because you need money for other things and you are such a consumer whore that you spend it on everything. But anyone else,
I didn't mean to buy it tonight.
Oh, okay. It is you. I'm always concerned.
Should this
I think
be on my
like
wish list to pick up?
Oh, yeah. I think you would get a kick out of this, yeah.
All right. Next up, Sonic Wings Reunion, developed by Success Core and Red Art Games, published by Red Art Games, released October 7th on Switch and PS5 for $29.99. Sonic Wings Reunion is a sequel to the arcade-style shooting game Sonic Wings, also known as Aero Fighters in the West. Previous version was sold in 1998. Oh my god, world. Choose from up to 10 characters and destroy the mysterious organization Fata Morgana that has progressed into the modern world. The scenario changes depending on the combination of characters. Chris, what is Sonic Wings Reunion?
Okay, so yeah, Sonic Wings, also known as Aero Fighters. So that's a distinction to make. In fact, you can even, in the options menu, you can tell it that you want it to be Aero Fighters Reunion instead of Sonic Wings. And then it'll just change all the titles and stuff. And that's it, you know? So yeah, this is a very... I don't know if it's popular. Maybe it's pretty popular. I'd say it's one of the better known arcade vertical shooters. Like I said, the series goes back to the early 90s. It's Sonic Wings in Japan, Aero Fighters here. This is they describe it as a sequel to the original game. I guess definitely it takes place, if not, because I kind of interpreted it more as a remake of the first game, but I guess if it is a sequel to the first game, then it's definitely between Aero Fighters 1 and Aero Fighters 2. Mostly because one character between the two games becomes a robot, and he's not a robot in this one, so that means this does not take place... This does not take place after the end of the first game, is the big tell. Why do I care so much about that? It's a shmup, right? There's no story. Well, here's the thing. This is the series that I think... this is kind of a proto-Psycho shooter. Like, Psycho made, like, Gun Force and Dragon Blaze and all these games that, they're shooters, but they also have dialogue in between stages, sometimes in the middle of stages, in the case of Gun Force. Gunbird, I'm sorry, not Gun Force. But yeah, the are characters where you're choosing your plane, but you're also choosing your characters that are, very different and individual. And, like I said, you're going to kind of like get their story as the game progresses, even though it's one of those things where you're kind of like, I'm not exactly sure what they mean by this when they say it. Because the first few, when they came out in English, had pretty ramshackle translations, and this feels like it's a better translation, but there's also just not a lot of information that you get out of the characters. Usually it's just their responses to things. But what this game does that the other games don't, and this is something that I also noticed in the recent remaster of Castle of Shikigami 2, which is my favorite shooter. So when you have two players in the original game, it used to be one player, there's 4 countries, and one player would be one character from that country, and player 2 would be the other player from that country. Yeah, a total of 8 characters spread across 4 countries. In this one, you can freely choose whichever character you want, and you can also match them up with any other character that you want, even if you're playing single player. That way, you get the dialogue between any 2 characters in the roster, as well as, but you are still playing a single player game. And they even give you the bonus that the other character, the second character that you've chosen, their bombs, because they all have unique bombs, per character. Yeah, and bombs in this context are screen clearing, bullet clearing, limited resource that you absolutely need in a shooter like this. But yeah, the bombs get added to your arsenal and are, mapped to the X button. So there is a strategic reason to have like a second character, and it does open up a little bit. But like I said, if you're like me, you're just playing this to see all characters and all their combinations of stories and things like that. What characters, you might ask? Well, Sonic Wings is, like I said, it really stands out amongst the shmup genre. I would actually say that, yeah, this is one of the, like I said, early examples of a somewhat popular one that featured, things like, for instance, a flying dolphin. There's a dolphin who is a pilot in this game. His name's Whitey. He's in all of the Aero Fighter games. In fact, he's kind of a mascot, although he's not like the main character. There's also a ninja, and in later games, there's also a robot. This one also has a Viking. It has a pop star called Mau Mau, and the game gives you the option of replacing the soundtrack not only with an arranged soundtrack where we'll get to that in a second, but you can even set it to Mau Mau mode with Mau Mix, which all of the songs are pop songs by this fictional pop singer that's one of the characters in the game. So nice. That's an interesting one. This game also brings some obscure characters to the front. You got Chaika and Pushka, who are 2, I think they're, I don't remember what country, but they're twins, and they, I think, were introduced in Aero Fighters 3, or one of the Sonic Wings, kind of remakes that occurred. A confusing series. I'm not even going to try and describe it all, but it's like, I think, is one. And I think they might be from that. But anyways, there's also a character called Glenda who is really here in the series all around. But she does show up as a playable character. And so it's not the exact one-to-one raw of the original game either. It doesn't even have the two characters per country thing. Like, they're missing the second British person, which the British person, they did include River. He's got a very confusing story element that we need not go into, I suppose. But the cool thing about this game is that it also boasts 8 unlockable characters for a total roster of 16. So I'm really looking forward to getting them unlocked. I've got one unlocked so far, but I'm not sure what the conditions are for unlocking the rest. I was just going to look that up later. But yeah, I did unlock Kotome, who is a character actually from before Sonic Wings. She was the princess in another castle that got kidnapped in a game called Rabio Lepus, which is, as you can tell by the title, a shooter from the same developer that had you piloting robot rabbits with punching gloves. And indeed, her ship is a green robot rabbit with punching gloves. So, yeah, we're getting in. Yeah, it gets into, like I said, abstract territory for sure. But like I said, any game that features it's a shmup, has pilots, with a dolphin and a ninja and things like that, I'm automatically sold. But yeah, so the game has been remade into like this 3D mode instead of like the original sprite based. I think it looks really, really cool. Definitely plays like the original, with the addition of one thing that I've always wanted, and that is a straight up turbo shot. See, the original arcade game would do burst shots whenever you would hit the button, so you just kind of had to push the button in kind of a rhythm to get what would be equivalent to a fully automatic shot. But in this one, they're lining up with like a lot of the other shmups, and now you can just hold down A or B, and it's just constantly shooting your regular shot. The reason why A and B are mapped to both to the same regular shot is because Y and X are the two different styles of bombs, and so it's very intuitive as far as the controls go. The new soundtrack arrangements, the game gives full credits, including photographs of the musicians in some cases, which is very cute. And you can actually go through the menu and you can change every single stage theme and pick what song you want, whether it belongs to that stage theme or not. So you can basically build your own soundtrack in this game if you want to. Or like I said, when you're on the character selection screen, you can use L and R to choose, basic sound, arranged sound, or Mau Mau attack. That's the name of the Mau Mau songs, which by the way, I did fully beat the game with Mau Mau soundtrack, and it's pretty good. So yeah, like I've said, they've made these improvements. As opposed to the Steam version that came out a little while ago, the Steam version said it had a lot of like the quality of life stuff like you'd see from a Ratalaika game, like Invincible mode, or like some other kind of does it change the game? I didn't see any of those in this game, so I feel like they have maybe slimmed up or trimmed off some of the kind of unnecessary stuff in the original Steam release for this one. So I think there are some differences, but I don't have the Steam release, so I don't know. I do know there's no invincibility in this game. There is 4 levels of difficulty, including a pretty forgiving easy mode. And this is the kind of game where as soon as you put in a new quarter and hit start, you start off exactly where you left off, and it doesn't change anything. So you're fine. You can bridge kid your way through this game on any difficulty. And so that's that.
Very good. $30 on Sonic Wings Reunion. What do you think?
I think that's an extremely fair price, especially considering the Steam version is still sitting at $60. So this is like half that, and it appears that it's only just missing like a couple of things that you don't need anyway. So I would definitely say this is the release of this game you want, especially since, like I said, it's... one other thing I forgot to mention is it does have Tate mode, so you can turn your TV on its side and play this like improper vertical.
Nice flip grip.
So that's really nice because that on my TV. Yeah. Yeah, we need a flip grip for the Switch too, but I don't.
Steam. Jesus.
It is, yeah, and that's gotten a lot of complaints, and I think the review score of it is mixed because of that. So I think that Success may have heard that, and they were like, let's just do a cheaper version. That's what we see here before us, and I have no complaints about a $30 price. If you've ever, go ahead.
It was published by Success on Steam. On Switch and PlayStation, it's published by Red Art Game. I'm guessing they made the call.
Oh, okay, so it's a different publisher.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good idea because I would have definitely said this is not a $60 game, but it's definitely a $30 game easily. And I mean, just try and get a copy of the original Aero Fighters on Super Nintendo. That's not a repro. They're kind of impossible to find. I'm looking at a complete in-box listing on eBay that's $5,999.95.
Ouch.
That might be, it doesn't even look special either, but I don't know, maybe there's some others. An authentic cart by itself looks like it's getting a little over $2,000. So I'm seeing them as low as like $1,600. So yeah, it's one of the most sought after Super Nintendo games. It's not even all that. It's good on the Super Nintendo for sure. I've definitely played it for free, but and it's no game is worth $1,600 or
based on my math. 30 is slightly less than 1,600.
You are correct, and for that reason, I would recommend this version. But if you got to go play the SNES version, there's lots of ways you could do that for much lower cost.
Time travel.
Indeed.
Next game, Blood of Mehran, developed by Permanent Way Game Company, published by Blowfish Studios, released October 7th on Series X and S, PS5, and PC for $24.99. Blood of Mehran tells the story of love, loss, and loyalty drawn from Arabian Nights folktales. The legendary warrior Mehran sets down his sword in search of peace, but his restful existence is set ablaze by the cruel ambitions of others, leaving him no choice but to take up his blade once more. Aki, did you murder the fuck out of people in this game?
Yes, I did.
Sounds like that's the goal to this one. Rated M.
Just a little bit.
Aki, what is Blood of Mehran?
Okay, in this, you play as a man named Moron. He seemed to have been a general at one...
Mehran, not moron.
Moron.
You very clearly said moron.
Moron. No, I said it right. Shut up. He seems to have been a general at one point, and he was set upon by a guy who apparently wanted to be, I believe, a sultan or something, and his group of jackasses. And they went about killing his entire family and then imprisoning him, which is, maybe not the way to do things if you don't want a person to go and stab you and your friends many, many, many times. He breaks himself out of prison because he has been starved long enough. He's gotten thin enough. He can pull his hand out of the manacle that's holding it. And of course, one guard gets close with a knife and is saying his spiel only to get his knife buried in his own chest because he's a fucking idiot. And yeah, it's great. There is both standard melee combat as well as stealth. You can feasibly do a lot of this game just by stealthing if you want. You can sneak up behind people and shank them like a bitch, which is always nice. Or you can just go in and make a lot of noise and just decide to kill the shit out of them with your nice sword, or later on other weapons as well. I'm looking at the store page. It says you could hack and slash either with sword and shield, double swords, or bow and arrow, or slip by like a ghost with stealth and cover mechanics. Like, do you have to take everyone out, or can you do pacifist runs? You cannot do a pure pacifist run, because there are many times when it kind of forces you into combat, and you don't have a choice. And many times when there's a big group of people and you can stealth, I have found that there's no way to actually stealth through them all. You have to kill at least some of them so they won't see where you're going. But there are, I'm sure, probably sometimes later in the game where you can stealth kill like 2 or 3 people and leave the rest of them alive if you really wanted, would be my guess. However, you make money by killing these people, and you need that money to upgrade. So you really want to kill every last one of them you come across, because they're all a bunch of douches anyways. Just saying.
Here we go.
Damn right. Obviously, as we all know, I preferred my stealthy stab times. However, if you decide to go loud and proud and go after them with whatever weapon you go after them with, there is a parry mechanic, which, if you do it correctly, it slows down time very, 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 very minorly for a very, very short period of time, just enough time for you to get in a hit, which you can then turn into a combo if you're paying attention. I don't. So I haven't done that very well, because there are counters and then there's perfect counters, which is where you slow down time and attack them immediately. A normal counter doesn't do that, and I've gotten like 6 or something perfect counters or something like that, and that I have no idea how to get another one because I kind of suck at the game. And yeah, there are boss fights where the boss will have a big old health pool, so you're gonna have to whack them many times until they cough up blood and die like a little bitch. There is healing in the game. You do not just automatically refill your entire health bar for standing around.
I'm happy I finally got to use that sound clip.
That messed me up because I was like, wait, did Jacob get in here and I didn't notice?
God, it's 1040.
I thought that he did too. I was like, what?
Screwed me up.
I heard Jacob's voice and was like,
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me!
Basically, yeah. It's like, why the fuck is he here? And why is he interrupting my goddamn review? So instead, you do refill just by sitting around a little bit of your health. Basically, when you take enough damage, you go into a red bit, and that will refill until you hit a white bit, which allows you to survive a couple hits. But then while you're hitting people, getting hit, blocking, deflecting, etc., basically everything you do in the game gives you a little bit of a charge of these little medallions at the bottom of the screen near your health, and that allows you to stomp the ground, yell, and regain some of your health, which is funny.
Do you throw a tantrum to get health back?
Basically, yes. You just stomp your foot, and you're like, and then you get some health, and I'm like, okay,
I want my health back.
Yeah, basically, and I'm like, okay, that's a choice. I don't know if I would have gone with that, but hey, whatever. If he wants to have a hissy fit like a 5-year-old girl, then fuck it, let's go with it. It works. He gets health, and that's good enough. So yeah. And your first battle really is going to tell you if you're going to want to play this game or not, because it is a boss battle with a character that seems to be max upgraded and stuff. So you have a whole bunch of health refills. They recharge real quick. It's great. And then you get all that taken away. And fuck my life.
Yay!
So, yeah. There are a bunch of different upgrades you can take. You're not forced to take any specific one, but after you get an upgrade, you can follow a few different lines, which is nice. And there are some that you have to get in order, and then some that are like split off that you can get just whenever after you've gotten to that point in the line. And yeah, I really like the stealth of this. It is a little finicky sometimes, but when it's working, it is really good. It just doesn't always necessarily work, especially because there's like times when you can get behind cover and you can whistle, get people to come near you and stealth kill them. That is an incredibly finicky system. You can always whistle. That's real easy. Getting it to where you're standing at just the right part behind cover to...
I can't whistle today.
To get to where you can stealth kill is very finicky, and they need to do some work on that because...
There we go. Sorry.
There you go. Because you can't... You get next to a piece of cover in order to go into it. You don't push a button to snap to it. And you have to get to a certain area of it in order to get a stealth kill. So it's so incredibly unnecessarily finicky and doesn't work very well. So that's like one of the major drawbacks of the game is that needs to be fixed very badly. And I think things like the perfect counter, it seems like half the time that may not even be counting on the tracker, because mine stopped at 6% towards the 50 of them I needed, and it's been stuck there since, and I've been trying my damnedest to just focus on that with enemies that I know how to do counters on, and it's not gone up. So I think some other tracking might be glitched as well, so they need to work on that a little bit. It does have voice acting, The voice acting is very indie. It is so-so. It is real people. Not all of them are particularly good, but I 100% prefer that over AI voices, so good on them for that.
True.
They do have some voice actors on there that are really good, so I applaud them for that. And yeah, it's just a surprisingly enjoyable little game.
Cool beans. A lot of collectibles, good skill tree, fun stuff like that.
I don't think there's any collectibles, really. The skill tree...
Scour the world for collectibles and secrets. Are there none?
I don't remember finding any collectibles off the top of my head, but secrets... All the secrets I found are there's occasionally some hidden money and stuff that you can find around. Sometimes they're hidden in things that are breakable that I didn't realize that were breakable until like very near the end of the very first level, where I was like, wait, I think I see something glowing there, and I smacked it and it broke, and I was like, motherfucker, that can break? Like, now I kind of need to replay the entire game from the start again and break all of these. Oh shit. But I think that's where most of the hidden secrets are. Is just that to help you level up, because leveling up is kind of a bitch. It takes a lot of money, and I don't feel like you get money anywhere near fast enough, but it is a sizable game, so maybe you'll have enough by the end to level everything up, but I don't feel like I will, which is kind of irritating. Because I just don't feel like I'm really getting anywhere with the upgrades.
Right.
But that's a personal experience thing.
Now, $25 on this one. What are your thoughts?
I think it's totally worth it. I have enjoyed my time with the game, and I think if you're into stealthy action adventure games, I think this is going to be for you if you like indie games. Totally. 100%.
Very cool. This or KAKU?
I prefer this one over KAKU by a lot.
KAKU.
Personally.
Next game to talk about, Amanda the Adventurer 2, developed by MANGLEDmaw Games, published by DreadXP, released October 17th, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $9.99. Amanda the Adventurer 2 follows Riley Park, who after seeing what was contained in the mysterious tapes in their attic, travels to the Kensdale Public Library to investigate further. Upon arriving, they're greeted by a masked figure who claims to know their Aunt Kate before she died and needs their help finding something Aunt Kate had left in the library. They also warn of a powerful entity that seems to be drawn to the tapes. Meanwhile, Amanda is now aware of Riley's presence and is doing everything to find a way to free herself. Suddenly, the stakes are higher than ever before, as it's not just Amanda looking for Riley now. Horror Acolyte, you are here to talk about this and another game. What is going on in Amanda the Adventurer 2?
So, Amanda the Adventurer 2 is a direct continuation of the first Amanda the Adventurer game, which I previously reviewed for the show. There are multiple endings for the first game. This continues after the good/true ending of the first one. For those who didn't play the first game, essentially you play as a girl named Riley, whose Aunt Kate dies and leaves her with the house, along with this ominous task to view these VHS tapes she's stored in the attic. But Kate warns her that once she views them, there's no turning back. So you find these tapes from an old kid show called Amanda the Adventure, seemingly wholesome show starring a girl named Amanda and her sheep friend Wooly. I start watching the tapes, and the show seems somewhat normal at first. But the more episodes you watch, you find that the character Amanda has this deranged and violent side to her, with a lot of content potentially being harmful towards kids. You solve a number of almost escape room style puzzles using the tapes, all self-contained within the attic, and uncover some of the mystery regarding the show's creation and potentially nefarious forces at play. I don't want to spoil too much from what happens in the first game. Suffice to say, in the end, for the good or true ending, Riley seems to have survived. Obviously, she's in this one. Moving on to Amanda Adventurer 2, this game is very similar, first-person horror puzzle game. The description is actually a little weird in the store because the masked figure you meet is actually met in the attic of the same house from the first game. She says she was a really close person to Kate. She then offers you a safe place to rest. So naturally, you decide to follow this completely masked stranger after the craziness you just experienced in the first game, because why not? Nothing bad can happen. While driving with the stranger in her vehicle, the stranger suggests that you both visit the public library where Kate worked, since there might be some answers in her office. Riley then explains to the stranger what happened in the attic off screen, which was kind of weird, so it doesn't actually recap any of the events from the first game. Just automatically auto tells it, I guess. Then welcome to the Kensdale Public Library. The stranger warns that there's definitely something evil in the area, and it's drawn to the tapes, so you need to be careful. She gives you a walkie-talkie to keep in touch with you, leaving you to search for answers while she keeps watch outside. So this game is pretty basic controls, much like the first one. There's a first-person view with this clippy-looking pointer finger at the center of the screen to interact with objects. You can walk, run, or crouch. And other than that, it's mainly just basic object interactivity with the puzzles that you find, essentially. The library isn't very large. There's 2 main rooms with a handful of bookshelves and a kids' corner without Jacob and friends.
Kids corner. You beat me to
it. This kids' corner also has an activity center for the kids and an older CRT TV and VHS player. The staff leaves you a note about an odd tape they found in the book returns, and a number of books that have been tampered with recently, giving you your first puzzle, the prize, your first VHS tape. Let's plan a trip. You start this tape, and once again, you're greeted by Amanda on her show, which looks like a 3D animated series from the late 90s, sort of like really bulky, kind of muted colors. Interesting to note, in the original release for the first game on Steam, Amanda would ask you the questions on the tapes, and then you could type in responses. Where when the game got ported to consoles, there was like auto-filled responses that you could choose from, and you wouldn't get to type anything in. And in this one, though, you actually get to type in your responses for the console versions as well, which I thought was a nice added touch. Especially since for some of the answers, you can type in like unique words that will have very specific results. So it does give you a little bit of freedom to be creative. Although most of the some responses do require you to have like a specific answer, but you might get like an extra kind of like animated sequence if you type in a unique response. So sometimes you'll get to pick between some of the items, but yeah, if there's a right answer and you click on the wrong thing, Amanda will get kind of annoyed and give you another try. Then after multiple failed attempts, she'll get angry and remove all the choices but the right one. Much like the previous game as well, Amanda has a very cheery persona that is wholesome at first, but slowly starts to reveal a creepy element to it that's kind of out of place in a children's series. Like her getting slightly too gleeful about getting to smash her piggy bank to get money for a vacation, menacingly saying, "Good night, Mr. Piggy," before taking out this Acme-style like giant hammer to smash them open. Then she mentions one of the places she wants to visit on her vacation is London. Why, you ask? Because of Jack the Ripper. So that's every kid wants to learn about Jack the Ripper, right?
Oh, yeah.
A number of situations she puts herself in are seemingly innocent, but definitely not suitable for a series aimed at younger kids, like using a saw to build a birdhouse or going treasure hunting in the woods alone, everything without parents' supervision. This game introduces a new character in the tapes, this random opossum that will come and terrorize Amanda, usually attempting to foil whatever activity she's working on that day, like stealing money for her trip or spilling the paint that's needed for a new birdhouse she's making. Once you finish the tape, usually there'll be some corresponding puzzles. For example, after the Let's Plan a Trip video, you need to put together a railroad track that has locations on it that Amanda wanted to visit. Or in another video, you're given like this puzzle box and you need to solve the box using specific scenes from the tape as prompts for the specific sides of the box. Achieving the bad ending for this game isn't too difficult, but if you want to get additional tapes that lead to the good/true ending, you'll need to pay even more attention to the environment for clues. The same is true for finding some of the secret tapes. The secret tapes to unlock have live-action video sequences with some of the characters in the game, and that they delve a little bit deeper into the actual lore for the game. I'd say this is where most of the world building comes into play. Yeah, so most of the difficulty for the puzzles in this comes from being able to spot the clues in the environment or the tapes and figure out exactly what you need to be looking for to even begin to solve the puzzle. But once you have an idea of what the game is looking for or spot a critical clue, the actual solution falls into place pretty easily. I did find this one more difficult than the first game. I still haven't gotten the good/true ending. I have found some of the secret tapes, though. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed my time with A Man of Adventure 2. For the most part, it's very similar to the first game, although the puzzles needed to get the better endings, as I mentioned, are kind of more difficult, at least in my opinion. I thought the ones in the original game were a bit more intuitive, or maybe I just happened to solve those with more ease by chance. So I feel like the sequel was creepy enough that fans of the first game will enjoy it, assuming they don't get too annoyed with the puzzles in this one. There was one odd design choice, or maybe it's a glitch, or this could be me misremembering. But in the first game, if you exited the game and continued, you would have access to all the tapes you had previously viewed. In this one, that does not appear to be the case. It only has your most recent tape along with the secret tapes you've unlocked, which I thought was kind of odd. Most of the horror elements in this game come from the uneasiness of the scenarios that Amanda's put in, considering the tapes are a kid's show, but there are a handful of jump scares as well, so be warned about that if you're just expecting, a very casual puzzle game. They weren't too bad, but they might get you if you're pretty prone to jump scares. But yeah, that's about it for A Man Adventure 2.
All right, well, it clocks in at a $10. What do you think of Amanda the Adventurer 2?
I would say it's definitely a buy it, especially if you enjoyed the first game. But I would recommend playing the original title beforehand, as there is like a direct storyline continuation. And as I mentioned, I kind of enjoyed the first game more. But yeah, it seems like this one, like I said, might have some odd design choices and glitches as well that maybe could annoy people. So yeah, I might want to delve into that a little farther before playing if that is something that might bother you. But yeah, I'd say it's a buy it for the most part.
Very good. Sounds good. Next up, The Cabin Factory, developed by International Cat Studios, published by Feardemic and Future Friends Games, released October 17th. Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, and PS5 for a jaw-droppingly expensive $2.99. Welcome to the Cabin Factory. You are now a newly hired cabin inspector. Congratulations. Your job is simple. Inspect the cabins and determine whether or not they're haunted. Stressed on your first day? No worries. Here's a quick introduction. Step 1, inspect the entire cabin. Don't miss a detail and trust your instincts. Step 2, if the cabin is safe, press clear and move on. But if it's haunted, quickly turn back and press danger. Horror Acolyte, were you in danger?
I sensed danger some of the time, yes.
Did you? How'd it go?
I don't even need to read my review after that store description.
All right, what is going on in this one?
So essentially, The Cabin Factory is a first-person spot the anomaly style game. You start in an elevator for this company called The Cabin Factory, manufacturer of realistic horror cabins for the movie and theme park industry. There was a false claim made, apparently, that one of your cabins was haunted, so you've been brought on as a cabin inspector to ensure the safety of all the cabins and that they're kept to the highest standard. You enter a mostly pitch-black warehouse with a spotlight on this console, kind of maybe in the center-ish, which details your duties. Inspect the cabins. If there's movement, means it's haunted. If you see that it's haunted, exit right away. Click red button that says danger. If it's not haunted, click a green button that says clear. Basic controls, you move, you run. You don't really interact with anything other than the buttons on the console. After a little while, the warehouse lights up and a giant conveyor belt brings you your first cabin towards you. It's this quaint-looking log cabin, has a nice stove-lit fire. Since it's built as a set, there is a sound effect of this snowstorm kind of howling outside that can be heard from within. You have a creepy portrait of a lady that hangs on the wall. Kind of looks like the eyes are following you when you move around. Father's sitting at the table eating dinner. This first cabin is pretty much the baseline for all the others. The rest of the cabins that follow will all be a variation of this same cabin. There can be differences from the original cabin shown, or for it to be considered haunted, there has to be movement. So you can get the same cabin again. You'll go upstairs and there's like a larger child-sized figure with its head covered, whose legs start moving. You know, that's time to run. Things obviously moving. This place must be haunted. Some other things will. Sorry, what?
Good band. This place is haunted.
Good band. Oh, never heard of them. I don't think
they're good.
Some other things will change. You'll say go back in and the radio will be playing, but it's still not haunted. Or you go and you find a giant stuffed animal, you know, sitting in the spot beside the doorway, and then look around the corner. There's even more stuffed animals everywhere, but none of them are moving. Suspicious, but still not haunted. So you need to get 8 cabins correct in a row to win the game. If you're about to die or in danger, you will hear a racing heartbeat, and then screen will start going bloody to red. Then ultimately you'll die, respawning in the elevator if you meet your demise. You do have like a little brief window of opportunity to leave the cabin when that happens, but it's pretty small. If you guess wrong when you're making your assumptions, then you hear a negative sound effect on the console when clicking the button, resetting your inspection counter back to 0. As I hinted towards, there are some haunted cabins that will not kill you. So in those ones, you do have kind of plenty of time, maybe an even infinite amount of time to leave after you've seen that it's haunted. After you've completed the game, there will be a counter that shows how many unique cabins you have left to correctly guess. So going through all the ones you have left will unlock a randomizer mode. And that's pretty much, all the game has to offer. It's a pretty short runtime. I would say like 1.5 hours, depending on how often you make a mistake. Maybe even less if you're a keen observer. There was one anomaly in particular I kept getting wrong. I have no idea what it was. I probably went through it like 10 plus times. Couldn't figure it out when I was on one left, so I knew to guess that it was haunted at that point, but I don't know what was wrong with it. I even turned up the lighting to like max lighting to see if I could see things easier, and I couldn't figure it out. But a couple of them are definitely tricky to see, especially if you have the brightness settings set on the darker side. So I was kind of disappointed that there was only one cabin template for this. I thought there'd be a wider range. Since it's a cabin factory, but it would have been kind of nice to have a little bit more variety in that regard. But I can't go in. So I can't go into too much detail without spoiling stuff. But there were some anomalies in this that were actually pretty cool. That kind of changed up the routine a little bit from just like the basic searching. So I don't want to spoil them because they were probably the highlights of the game, in my opinion. And there's like a little bit of a story there, I guess. Not really much, but there is, I guess, technically some. So this is only the second game I played in the Spot the Anomaly puzzle genre. But for $3, I would say it's sufficiently creepy. Can definitely recommend checking it out.
Very good. You beat me to the question, you dick.
A little bit.
So this is a worthwhile investment at $3.
I mean, for $3, like if you haven't played a game and want to try one in this genre, it's like in fuck it, why not territory. Like it's for that investment. As I said, it's the better of the 2 games I played in the genre. Not that that's a large sample selection to go on, but $3 can't go wrong.
All right, very good. All right, well, that is it for you. We will let you get going. I know you haven't been feeling the greatest tonight, so we'll let you get going and hope you feel better.
Well, thank you, Joe. You have a lovely evening.
You have any final words?
So you're in the dark, assume you're in danger.
There you go. Next up, AQUADREAM, developed by Gossiam Games, published by YUME Game Studio, released October 17th on Xbox One and Series X and S for $4.99 each. AQUADREAM is a cozy underwater adventure that blends puzzle solving with exploration. Players control a small anglerfish navigating the depths of a mysterious ocean. Each world introduces new mechanics, gradually increasing the challenge while maintaining an immersive dreamlike atmosphere. The journey begins in the abyss, a vast underwater maze where players must rely on their instincts to find the path forward. They progress to encounter ocean currents, deadly spikes, and enemy crabs. Oh no, hit their weak point. Each adding a new layer of strategy and skill. With its beautiful pixel art, intuitive gameplay, and a rewarding sense of discovery, AQUADREAM offers an experience that is both relaxing and engaging, perfect for players to enjoy exploring and taking on cleverly designed levels. Aki, you and I played this one, and this was a lot better than I was expecting it to be when I first saw pictures of this.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a lot more where you had to avoid stuff, because in lots of the pictures you see like stalagmites and stalactites and shit, and I was expecting to have to be dodging around that, and I was like, I'm going to fucking hate this game.
I kind of expected this to be like an auto dodger kind of thing, where you would be like automatically moving and you'd have to like go up and down to determine.
Yeah, I was almost expecting that, or expecting at least, even if it wasn't an auto one, for you to have to be dodging through all of this stuff. And there's not actually a whole ton that you have to dodge. There are a bunch of things, and as later levels go, it gets much harder. But I was expecting like everything that stuck out. I was expecting to have to actually properly swim around, because if I touched it, it would kill me, is what I was thinking. And no, it's just background shit. Thank God.
Yeah,
I'd have lost my mind.
This is split up into 30 levels, I think. Each level you go in, and it's kind of, I don't want to say like an open world, but it's kind of like an open labyrinthine, just a map that you have to explore. You got to find 3 stars, a key, and get to the exit without dying.
Yeah. And, you know, and it doesn't really matter if you die, for that matter, because if you die, you just restart at the beginning of the level. However, anything you've collected, including the key, stays on you, which is nice.
Definitely handy.
Yeah, the only thing that you have to redo is, like, if you've changed where the gates are, because there are some chains that pop up in some of the levels, and you can move them from one place. Sometimes there's multiple areas, and it's deactivated in some and activated in others. If you change the activation, it'll close some of them and open the ones that were closed, etc., etc. And so those reset if you die, and you have to go and open it if you need it opened, or close it if you need it closed. It does have some issues with tutorials, namely, I didn't know how the fucking chains worked, because it didn't explain that well. It just told me in one level, here, click A over this, and that was it. Didn't tell me what that did.
There was so much in that game, I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What are these statues that like light up? I don't.
Yeah, those activate and deactivate chain locations, apparently.
Yeah.
And I only figured that out because I watched a video by Dwaggy, who fucking went through it, and he actually mentioned that, and when he was walking people through one of the levels, he stated that changed where the chains were or something like that. And I was like, oh. Game could have explained that to me. I would have probably gotten past level 5 naturally if it had explained that to me. Because they didn't explain it, I thought you just had to activate all those things, because I didn't know what the fuck they were. They were just things that I hit A at, and that I was like, okay, I hit A at it. There's a chain blocking my way, and I don't know what to do to get it to fuck off. I was like, maybe I have to find a second one of these things, and it'll get rid of it. No, I just had to deactivate the one that I had activated, I think, probably. I'm not sure, because I didn't care. And I sat there for a while. There is lots of these levels are pretty good. They're nice and succinct. They're not huge. Some of the levels are kind of problematic because they're huge and there's a whole bunch of fucking nothing in a lot of them, and it's just made to be a giant maze, and those ones aren't fun. Yeah, Joe, you specifically know that. There are
some of these are just 2 fucking days?
Level 5 again, actually. It's still level 5. We're also referencing level 5 here. It was a big one with a whole bunch of nothing in it.
There's just a lot of levels where, come on, give me something here.
Yeah, and then, like, it's one of the worst levels for that. It is apparently not the only level that does it, but it is one of the bigger ones that does that. So there's that. There is a nice way to skip it all, though, and you can go look that up on YouTube if you want, which makes life much easier.
People found themselves a little secret.
Yeah, it's nice. I appreciate it very much. Yes, you still have to beat at least one level to do that, but hey, who cares? But overall, I didn't hate it, but it had some really fucking irritating problems that needed to be dealt with. And like just having giant open empty maps and having a better tutorial would fix most of the problems altogether, I think. But it is what it is. It's a cheap game to me. This is kind of a fuck it, why not style game.
I can agree on that. It is $5, an official verdict on your end.
It's a fuck it, why not style game for me.
Yeah, I can agree. With that price, only $5. Give it a go. If nothing else, you can get an easy 900 out of it.
Joe, it's not hard to finish level 30. Just go fucking do it, you lazy shit. I know, that's why I ended that with lazy shit.
I'm lazy and my arm hurts.
You know what? That's fair. I'll let you go with that. Whatever. That's fair enough.
Yeah, well, all right, one final game to talk about tonight.
SML After Dark.
Over the Moon, developed and published by Keys to My Lockhart, releasing Q1 of next year on Steam. The final game in the Rose Garden trilogy. Can you convince Moon to come home, or will her anger towards you ever be dull? Aki, going on and Over the Moon.
Okay, so this is the third game in this series, obviously, and this is the one that started with Petal Among Thorns, and the last game was A Moment of Bliss. This girl you're out going after this time is named Moon, and she... hate might be a really generous, kind word for what she feels towards you. Whereas all the other girls, have fallen for you or were okay with you, she vehemently fucking hates you. It's great. And this starts with Susie coming back. She was taken from you. She was the AI woman that was helping you with shit. Your show that the two of you were writing has become a success. You're rich, you're famous, you're well known, and you've been a slump for some time now because Susie was taken away and she was actually important to you because she is her own person, AI or otherwise. And the moment you get her back, she's like, okay, time to help you get back in contact with Moon and try to get her home. And yeah, this game, you're trying to do this by trying to get her to either get fired from her record label because she is a masterful pianist, or get them to fire her. Either quit or get fired. That's what you're trying to do. And by that, you are trying to take down this record label that is just the most piece of shit record label known to man. They create contracts with people who they know have to have the contract because they're in just a bad fucking way. And all of them are super one-sided. So, like, Moon owns nothing, for instance. The company buys everything. for her. So like even the house she lives in, it's owned by the company. Why? Because the company wants to be able to walk in and out of there whenever they want, because she has no privacy, because they own her. Yeah, they decide what she gets to eat. They decide if she needs to exercise more or not. All that fun stuff. They're super controlling pieces of shit. So you meet. Yeah. Matter of fact, even your week to try and get along with her was forced on her. Because when you called her, she was like, no, fuck you. I hate you. I want nothing to do with you. But the thing is, you may have called Moon, but the owner was on the line and decided, yeah, no, we're going to give you a week. Or if you decide that you're not going to at least try to get along and rekindle this relationship with him, then we're going to just fire you and you can fuck off. And they also decided that if you, the main character, didn't start writing the second season of the show that you've been in a slump unable to finish for 2 years, if you don't start writing it during this, they're also going to fire her. They're that scummy. Why? Because they want you to finish it, and if you finish it, they're going to be the people making the music for the show, is what they've decided. Arbitrarily, on their own. So they are fully taking your guys' relationship and monetizing it, basically, because they want the two of you to get along well enough that you can create the second season simply so they can get millions and millions of dollars by doing all the music for the show. Because she's a fucking scumbag. And your character outright calls her that very first meeting, face to face. She's like, you're a cutthroat, ruthless bitch. And I was like, yes. And she didn't even like bat an eye at being called that. She's like, well, yeah, obviously I am. You don't get to where I am by not being a cutthroat, ruthless bitch. And I was like, you know what? Fair. Lockhart made a fucking evil piece of shit, and by God, they're sticking with it, and I appreciate that. Because lots of people are like, no, humanize the villain. No, the villain's a piece of shit. Let them revel in it. So I love that. And so you're trying to create this relationship with her. The only problem is you're an oversexed pervert who now has basically a harem of women who want sex from them constantly. So you're kind of used to just performing all the time. And there's 3 girls who have a genetic predisposition to wanting your D, and she should be number 4. So you're like, oh, okay. Obviously, this girl doesn't hate me because I'm a piece of shit. She hates me because she wants me, and she doesn't know how to handle that. Turns out, no, that's not necessarily the issue. Also, she finds you having sex with a person she doesn't know in her house, on her kitchen table, no less. So, things could be going better in the repairing your relationship with her department. Just a little bit. You keep putting your foot in your mouth, or up your own ass, however you want to say that. And, she does not view you very happily. So it's really fun. And then suddenly at one point she suddenly flips the script and just starts being like, everything is fine. Actually, I love you. And then your character's like, fucking what? And I really appreciate that about Lockhart's writing, because usually if a character suddenly flips and is like, actually, no, I'm in love with you. Let's go make out in the other room. they just go with it. No one asks any questions. It literally, the prior scene could have been like, I fucking hate you. I want you dead. Why are you here in my life? You ruin everything. And the next scene can immediately be that same character being like, let's go make out and fuck in the other room. And everyone is just supposed to just be like, yep, that makes sense. And it doesn't. It doesn't. And Lockhart's like, makes the character go like, fucking what? You just said for me to fuck up. What's going on here? I appreciate that. No one does that. Oh, it's so good. I love it. And yeah, Moon's hot, and so are the other women that show up in this and get introduced into Lane of the Pipe. So yeah, you get to seduce a pizza girl. Oh yeah, you're in China, by the way, and there's just this random ass American girl working in pizza and at the pizza place as a delivery driver and doesn't seem to understand the language very well, which amuses me. And then there's also a pop star that's also under the record label that is a friend of Moon's that you get introduced to, and you can have some fun with her too. And there's other women that I'm not going to ruin, but yeah, it's fun.
Sure you're gonna
I
ruin
like
them.
it. Oh, I am 100% gonna wreck their shit, and it's gonna be glorious.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, this one's not out until next year. What are your thoughts going on with that?
Oh, go add this to your wish list, especially if you like the prior games. Obviously, if you haven't played the prior games, go get the prior games. But yeah, this is I am thoroughly impressed by this. I really like it. It does have the same mechanic from the past game, where it had the cell phone up in the corner that I kept forgetting to push. It now has VR glasses up there, and I definitely forgot to push those because I went from the very first one that told you to do that, and I went through like a number of chapters before I was like, oh shit, that's up there. I forgot about that. So yeah, remember that, folks, and go buy it. It's good.
Whenever it's out.
Yeah, it should. I think it'll be out pretty early next year because they only have, I believe, one chapter left to do. So it's pretty close to being finished. And you know, if you're like, I want to play this now, you can always get into their Patreon or what have you and get access to it. Like I have access to all of it through their Discord. So yeah.
All right, and with that, we are finished. Yay! Big thanks to you two for hanging out this whole time, being here the whole show. Big thanks to Horror Acolyte for coming on, hanging out to do his 2 reviews quick. And big thanks to DJ Jones for coming on, chatting about the Quartercade. Check out the links in the show notes to keep up to date with what's going on with the Quartercade. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to check that thing out and talk about it on the show. I think it looks really cool. And I hope it works out well for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
He seemed like a good dude, so I hope it works out for him.
So why were you late?
Just really hoping to just bypass that conversation. I was playing a review game for Thursday and watching YouTube videos, and I just lost track of time. I'm not even gonna lie, I completely lost track of time.
Proud of you.
Because of and it doesn't help that I have all those fucking Halloween noises coming from Discord right now. Because I don't recognize those noises, so when I hear that any of the noises that Discord's making right now, I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
I haven't heard
then when I can't
any of them. Because I have sounds off.
You have it all. Yeah. That the Discord sounds is how I know, oh, someone just sent me a message like, hey, where are you? And stuff like that, for instance, when I've gotten distracted. And because this is a different sound right now, I hear it and I don't know what it is. And then I look around and I can't figure out what it is. So I immediately ignore it.
8:55. Ready to rock? You there? 9:02. Hello. 9:10. Oh, hey, yeah, what's up?
I didn't realize that I even got there I thought it was like closer to 9:15 when I said that. Okay, I was there a little faster than I thought.
Oh, man. Yeah, we are done with this episode. Does anyone have any... Oh, wait. Oh, what's this? What did I find? I found the prize package you won with your contest entry.
Yeah, in October of, what was it?
2017. There is no Bubsy game on here.
There isn't? Where the fuck did I get that then? I could have swore I got it from there.
Let's see. What did you get? Resident Evil 7, Narcosis, Emily Wants to Play, Nevermind, Sheltered, Escapists, Walking Dead, The Coma Recut, Don't Knock Twice, The Bunker, Pinball FX3, Walking Dead, Infinite Minigolf, Enigmatis 2, Dark Arcana, Nightmares from the Deep 2, White Knight, Let Them Come, Observer, King Oddball, Crimson Land, Bulb Boy, Layers of Fear on Steam, Zombie Party, Observer on Steam, Knock Knock on Steam, Thimbleweed Park, Decay, The Mare, Abyss, The Wraiths of Eden, Nightmare Boy, Anima, Vostok, Ginger, Castles, Heart and Slash, Demon Crystals, 8 Days, Dead Exit, and Slayaway Camp.
I told you at least 8 games.
One contest, 37 games. That's the kind of shit we used to do on this show.
Yeah, back when people were giving out more codes, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a shame that changed.
Days.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've had a hearty giveaway. It's just so hard to get giveaway codes these days because people would hoard them and
sell them.
Yeah, the selling was a massive issue and a big reason we don't get a lot of codes these.
Yeah, it really sucks. Some jackasses ruin things for a lot of people. Like, because that shit was fun. Like, getting all those games, that was so fucking cool. I have never won anything like that before or since. That was so fucking cool. And now the likelihood of anyone ever being able to experience that, literally ever again, is nigh on non-existent, and that fucking sucks because that was so cool. That made me feel so awesome for so long. Like, I felt blessed.
The SML 200 giveaway was a big one.
That was before I started watching even. Yeah, I think I started watching around like 312 or something.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I started watching not long after I actually became a member of the show. My first show was 3:30, so
I have a bunch of old emails saved from like the first 2 years or so, and like looking through these, I saw one and it just kind of like hurt my heart. I saw an email from my buddy Charles Margolis celebrating our 1 year anniversary. He is no longer with us, so.
Oh, that sucks.
Cancer took him.
Oh, that blows donkey balls.
I love it. Yeah, he was a good MagFest friend. But, yeah, music, we are going to wrap this up with, I don't know, something. I'm going to play something. But,
make it something kinky.
Maybe.
Woohoo!
Final words?
I think make it something kinky was probably pretty good in words.
Maybe.